that's me. You're probably wondering how I got here. Well, you see, it all started one day when I decided to start and try and beat Minecraft as quick as I can. It's not a speed run. It's not that fast. It took me like 3 hours. Yeah. So anyways, I was starting this world. There was a savanna, there was a forest. I wasn't sure where I was going to go first. Obviously, I needed to collect wood. And this ended up going on a long journey with lots and lots and lots of deaths. There's a lot. I started this journey, with the savannah, so I headed straight towards there. And there was a village there. I'm going to clip to what happens in the village. But before I do, I would like to just say, if you enjoy this video, please consider subscribing and liking the video so I can make more content like this. Oh, and before I actually get to the clip, the mic did cut out halfway through, so this is probably going to just be a commentary video. Thanks.
Let's see. I know I want to collect as many beds as possible from this.
And this part was not wrong, so I just spent the next little bit going through the village and collecting the beds that were here, trying to see as much as that I can collect before I go and try to face the Nether and eventually the Ender Dragon. In the end, you'll see why these beds weren't actually all too helpful. But for now, I decided to try and kill the iron golem in this village, trying to get as much iron as I could so I wouldn't have to get to a cave, but it only dropped 3 iron, so I did have to go to a cave and collect more iron for that. But this was fine because as I did, I also got some hay bales and I started venturing more through the village. I did check some of the villagers, see what their trades were, but they were just bad trades that they were offering, so I headed into the desert because there are lava pools in the desert. I was hoping I'd find a cave along the way and make this as quick as possible.
Good news, I found a lava pool. Better news, it's right next to a ravine. With iron in it. I like ravines better because, they don't actually cause death. Okay.
Oh, how wrong this statement was. And here is exactly why, because as I was in the cave exploring, 2 skeletons just showed up out of the dark, and I just blocked myself into a hole. Obviously, the skeleton wanted to come into the cave, block in with me, but it couldn't, death. So in this little cave I made from the block in with the skeletons, I started smelting some iron that I collected on my way down to the ravine, and I made a bucket, a shield, and some axe, and then I eventually made some iron, but I did need more. Did I just say I made some iron? Oh my gosh. I made some armor and eventually did need more because it wasn't enough for a full armor set, and this triggers death number 1.
That one dropped 2. That was a superior one. Okay, let's see. We died just about down here. I've been asking myself a lot. How to get out of ravine.
Spoiler alert, it wasn't that hard.
No, please. I might just have to dig up.
And that's exactly what I did.
Although there's sand up there. We're gonna need a shovel.
Yeah, I did not need a shovel. I actually didn't when it came to it. And then I just started making the nether portal with the lava pool that was right next to the ravine. You will see in a second that I had absolutely butchered this quick portal because I had spilled the water everywhere and it just made obsidian. So into the nether I had gone.
Okay, that was close. Well, good news. It's definitely not a Soul Sand Valley biome. Bad news, it's... Oh, Would you look at that? The fortress is right there. And so are the magma cubes.
Magma cubes are fun, don't you think?
I've been hearing. I'd just like to point that out. I am not liking any of these whatsoever. Okay. Let's do it this way. I'm hearing so many different kinds of noises right now. At all costs.
So I did start making my way into the fortress, but for whatever reason, me just digging up here did not feel like a good idea, and it was so hard to get back to this point after I had died later on, because death is promised in the Nether for some reason.
There is a lot of death promised here.
See? I told you. I wasn't wrong. Let me just insert this quick montage of me just beating up blazes from below and still getting set on fire by them, even though I set up this little fortress so that I wouldn't die. Yeah, no, I die a lot in this video. It's a common occurrence thing. Here's our next example of that. Yeah, no, let's just move on. I had to go to the forest. I had to get some pickaxe again, but this didn't work out too well because then our next example of me dying happened, but I knew that I was going to explode everywhere and I did not want to lose my pickaxes, so I dug myself into a little hole. And here it is. It was at this point that my mic had cut out, so it's just going to be me annotating it for the rest of this. But yeah, I had jumped in a lava after getting my stuff back, and yeah, I didn't have enough hunger full for this, so I wasn't healing at all, and I did die here, making death number 4 occur. So then I had to spend the next 5 minutes going out to the trees here, collecting more wood, making another pickaxe before I could actually head back into the Nether, because like I said, it's a pain to get up there because I did tower up and I have no blocks here, and I need a pickaxe to dig into the fortress once again. So after getting back to my stuff for the 7th time, or what felt like it, I had decided that it was time to leave the fortress. First, I had to deal with the magma cubes because they are everywhere in the basalt biomes. I have no clue why. But I was low on health, so before I did leave the fortress, I did box myself in really quickly. But after I did that, I went up and over the fortress and further into the biome. Here's me just exploring this biome. It was so hard to get through, so hard. I don't even know how I survived because it was a lot to deal with here. But I did. I used a hay bale because I know they can reduce fall damage. So I used that, and I started mining some gold. The piglins nearby didn't like that, but after killing that, I decided to start trading with piglins because I still needed ender pearls. So in the trading process, they gave me nothing. It was horrible. Their trades were trash, to be honest. It was just bad. It was bad trades. Yeah. So then as I was trading with them, as you do at trading, I left them. I went and found some more piglins, did some more trading. But as I was leaving the trading area, there was a bastion right next to a warped forest. And I had a plan here. I was going to go to the bastion And I did after killing these magma cubes. And yeah, here's the bastion, I guess. This is me entering it. I had decided to add the Hyrule Castle courtyard music in the background because I wasn't actually like going around this bastion at first just slaughtering everything on sight. Instead, I was sneaking around, which reminded me of the courtyard where you just go around all the guards because there was brutes around, and yeah, they're not fun. But I decided to go to this chest because it was there, and never know, there could have been good loot. I think the good loot, what is usually in the middle though. It was one of the bigger bastions, so there was a lot of loot here. But yeah, I blocked myself in here and continued proceeding through this bastion really quickly. It's funny how I left the gold armor there. It's like I knew what was about to happen right after this clip here because yeah, this gold armor is about to become very useful after a little bit. Yep, that happened. I was so far from spawn. So I had to go get some more tools, as I do. Had to get back through the nether to get to that bastion. Wasn't so simple, because I died. A lot. It kept happening. Until that eventually I got back to the bastion. Remember that chest I left armor in? Yep, it became super useful. Because I had no gold armor and the piglins were probably going to attack me if I didn't. So then I proceed back to where my stuff once was. I say was past tense for a very, very good reason. Check this chest. I don't know why there's just a pork chop in there. Like, why would they cook it? Yep, but most of my stuff is gone. Sorry, I'm just stuck on why they would cook a pork chop. They're made of pork. That'd be like, oh my gosh. Yep, after going on a piglin rampage with a crossbow, I got down to the bottom level and there was actually some pretty good loot in there, so I started collecting that. That guy's just stuck there on the island, so he couldn't really do much, and I had already taken out the rest of them or put them in a hole. Yeah, the hole that they're in is kind of up higher up. And I decided it was time to leave the bastion. So this was me just leaving it, going back to the warp forest where I had spent quite a bit of time just killing endermen. Like, I put myself under a tree and set up a little base. After that, I decided to head back for my portal. I had enough, I think. I don't know, actually. I might have had enough. I might have just been bored. And yeah, I died to lava. Again. So then once again I had to go through the nether, get back to all my stuff, but of course, not so simple. I died again, this time to a magma cube, but it was like, it wasn't even the magma cube's fault. This one was totally mine. Like, I probably could have just killed it, except I backed into a magma block. So I eventually got back to my stuff, and it was all there, thankfully, this time. None of it had despawned or burned, like I was thinking it might have, but nope, it was all there, it was all safe. So I was good to head back. I remember now that I was actually heading more towards where I had other like where the first piglins I saw were, so that I could trade with them instead. Like this one, I started trading with this one. He didn't really give me that many trades though, so I don't know why I kind of left this in. It's kind of not useful. But yeah, I started trading with him after a little bit. after that guy, was giving me no trades, I moved on to a different area that was closer to my portal in case I died again. And this guy was actually giving me some pretty good trades, I guess. He did. He gave me a bunch of fire resistance potions at some point, so that was quite useful, but I spent a good time just looking at what he got. And it was around this time that I realized I did not have any blaze rods anymore, and I didn't have any food. So that was fun. I needed food, and I needed it quick. But a encounter with a ghast is what stopped me from proceeding here. It was just not good. I don't know why, but whenever it comes to crossbows, I never remember that they're already charged when you go to fire them. So I was like thinking it was like a regular bow and I had to charge it, which is why it keeps going just off the rails here. And bad aim. I'm not excusing my bad aim. But I decided it was time to leave the nether. This magma cube had a different thinking, and I spent like a good 10 minutes just going around the nether portal trying to kill the magma cube. In my defense, I said trying to kill it. It did eventually go through the portal, and all these little ones had spawned after I started killing it again and got my stuff back. But, I had no blaze rods. I had to go back into the nether to get blaze rods. I don't know why I put my magma cream in the inventory. But I realized that I don't want to have to lose any of my stuff if I were to die again in the nether, so I started putting it all in the chest. This time I started exploring the nether fortress some more to see if I could find anything useful in here. I didn't. But I did find another blaze spawner after I had broken the first one. It was a very big fortress, so it took me a little bit to find one, but I did find one, and I started killing the blazes there, and after I had gotten enough blaze rods, it was time for me to leave the nether once again to go, but this time to go and find the strongholds. So then once I was out of the nether, I went back, collected my stuff from the chests. I had started smelting some things before I left, I think. And I just left the wood in there, so I collected the wood, collected the furnace in case I needed it eventually. And yeah, I just started heading to the fortress. The Eyes of Ender had led me to this mountain. Yeah, so you see how I have a bunch of stuff in my inventory? Yeah, I got so done with the run that I ended up giving myself some beds and potions and an axe just to get it done. I just wanted to finish it. I did cheat, I know. But this was just fun for me. It wasn't like anything like professional or anything. So I decided to just start going through the nether and, nether, oh my gosh. The end, I started destroying the towers because I knew that you have to destroy those to defeat the Ender Dragon. I did die again. Yeah. And I continued climbing up the towers. I reached the top of one of the tallest ones that you can find there, and I knew that you place a block and it doesn't take as much damage. And yeah, I just started shooting the other crystals from up here. The dragon breath did start spreading a lot, so I was like on the edge of this thing, and as I was shooting, it was hitting most of the crystals. Some of them I couldn't get from where I was, so I did eventually later have to go up to them and just take them out. But for now, these seem to have been doing fine, and yeah, the dragon was just going around in circles. I think it was about to land, but just how much circles it goes in while it's like in fast mode, because that's why I have this on. This part is not quick. It's just so funny. It just looks like it's going around in spirals. And so then I jumped off of this pillar after the dragon's breath happened, and I got down, and yeah. I had a pumpkin, and I know that pumpkins, Endermen can't attack you if you're wearing a pumpkin, so I started wearing that, and I started doing the beds because that's one of the main ways to kill the dragon. But then it kind of set me on fire, and yeah, I died again. So then when I got back, most of my stuff was once again destroyed. I had no axe, I had one iron, and a couple pieces of wood. I knew what needed to happen. I was not just going to lose here. I made a shovel. And the shovel is going to be so useful. And yeah. So I decided to head back to the middle where the thing was. I was not doing well with the crossbow because I have horrible aiming. But it happened. The dragon eventually did start to land after a couple hits with the crossbow. And this was it. It was my time to shine. I had the shovel in hand. I don't know why I didn't drink the strength potion. I still had that. I should have drank it. The dragon was on low HP. It was time to kill the ender dragon. So I started hitting it more and more. And slowly, bit by bit, the health was going down. It was going down ever so slowly. I was shocked I was able to do this in just one go. But there it goes. It's on very low HP. It's still going down. The dragon's still here. And I did it. And this was how I ended up beating the Ender Dragon with a spoon. Or shovel.